This live stream is sponsored by SCL, an all-in-one CS2 training platform with a practice server, 2D viewer, and unique training modes like Defense Mode. Defend sites against bot executes that get harder every round. And Trade Fire, a pre-fire mode where enemies actually try to trade you. You can run every mode in co-op and track your progress and stats across all your training. Plus, you get an advanced 2D demo viewer. Use code Crossfire40 for 40% off your first month. That's under $3.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Crossfire Season 5. My name's Quantum Deathcat, here with Blakert for a Group A matchup, the Group of Death. How are you feeling about this game tonight, Blake?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one, QDC, as this matchup is going to be one for the taking. It's Overtake sector taking on Regain, and Overtake is a lineup that's had a little bit of a reunion with some ex-Party Astronauts members, ex-Fluffy Aimers members. However, Regain is definitely a roster that's been around for some bit of time and has had some successful results. So QDC, I think this is going to be a back-and-forth affair that we all enjoy to see as Counter-Strike fans.
Last night, I got to enjoy watching an ESEA game between them and Detonate for main league playoffs, and they lost their first map of the entirety of Season 57. Of all of Season 57, they won 13 games in the regular season. They forfeited one, so they were 13-1, and then during the playoffs, they went 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, and in that match, they lost their first map, and it was honestly an incredible comeback from the side of Detonate on the map pick of Overtake over on Mirage. So let's see if they play Mirage today on the side of Overtake. Let's see if they feel comfortable playing it.
Yeah, and I mean, like we talked about, I mean, this back and forth series is exactly what we want, and for it to be the opening matchup of Group A is absolutely outstanding. I mean, I kind of touched on it, how Overtake is a little bit of a reunion of ex-Party Astronauts, ex-Fluffy Aimers, and even a one-win roster where we have Lircy, Intra, Sacrifice, Umar, who comes from that Farmville roster that included Hambuga, and we also have Jason. However, for Regain, we have Sasha, Zukar, Dirk, Uzenko, and Grape. And the core of Regain has been around for some time, but QDC, here are those map picks. We do see that Mirage that you're kind of touching on, but the one that stands out for me is going to be the Inferno pick from Regain. It's a map that I think that they really like to play, and it's one that they've historically been really prioritizing as their first pick.
By far and away, their most picked map and their favorite by far. But in recent times, I feel like Regain's been slipping a little bit, and up against such a strong team, especially with what I saw, because this is the exact map pool that I saw last night between Overtake and Detonate. And they completely crushed Detonate on their map pick, all right? This was a 9-3 first half for Detonate, and then they went on a crazy run of 10 straight on the side of Overtake. They were unstoppable once they got into their T side. And so, with that being said, their CT side was actually very difficult to watch and see because they were playing it so aggressively. They essentially turned the CT side into the T side. And that's what's so bizarre to me from the side of Overtake, is that they play so aggressive. And if you're waiting for it, you can punish them round in, round out.
Yeah, and I mean, the one thing that I kind of want to touch on in these pick and bans is that realistically, it feels like Overtake Sector have won this draft battle. We've seen in this Season 57, and even a little bit in the Nostalgia League, that they prefer Mirage, Anubis, and Dust 2, all maps that are what we like to call pug playstyle maps, where strategy isn't the biggest of issues, but it's more so comes down to the gunfights that you're winning. And with only Inferno of this map pool being the one that's really reliant on that strategy and the game plan and the push and pull that Inferno is known for, I definitely think that Overtake Sector have set themselves up to have the best shot at conquering Regain. So it's going to be all onto Regain, and the even more interesting part is that Regain haven't played an official match since May 1st, and they completely foregone ESEA Season 57, forfeiting 4 matches, so they are completely out of that cycle. I touched on how May 1st was their last official, but that was ESL Challenger League Cup 4, where they had some mixed results, where they mainly lost to Zomblers, but everyone else they came across, they were able to take over with ease, including Fisher College, which is a team that has recently been surprising North America, but still QDC, I definitely think Overtake Sector are in the driver's seat, at least going into the series.
I can't agree really, right? You got yourself an ECL team in front of you. And yes, right, Overtake looking very strong, but they haven't faced off against this high level of competition yet, right? They haven't faced off against a team of the level of Regain in either ESEA season, and they've not played any ECL, of course, because they don't have a VRS rank yet. So all that being said, they haven't faced off against a Regain level team. So right now it's unproven territory. It's time for them to prove to us that they belong here.
Yeah, and absolutely. And you kind of touched on earlier how Group A is the group of death, and this is the opening matchup of Group A. But in Group A, QDC, we have Outfit 49, we have Regain, we have Overtake, and New Legends. New Legends, I am not too familiar with. It looks like kind of a mixed stack of level 10s. We have Plumber Guy, Treehen, Bruce, AGB, and TMK. However, the roster of Outfit 49 has been on fire recently, and I think that the group of death is the perfect way to describe this group, and what better way to open it up than this matchup right here. And QDC, when it comes to Inferno, do you have any keys to success that Overtake or Regain really need to take advantage of to find a win here?
I'll give you one for both. I'll start off with Regain here. Regain need to watch out for the aggressive CT side of Overtake. I already talked about it, right? But they will overly play aggressive. Over on Inferno, they will play 3 on the B bomb site every single round, and that includes an off, right? So they will have themselves a large aggressive play, and when they aren't 3-stacking the B site, they're 4-stacking A instead. So it's very scary. Because if you're Regain and you just wait for them to push into you, you will get man advantage every single round. They will push into you. And so you got to take advantage of that. If you're Regain, you got to read into that. If you're Overtake, I mean, just play less aggressive, right? But at the same time, react to the way that your opponents react to your play, especially on the CT side, right? If they're just waiting for you to push into them on their T side, just don't push into them, right? Let them push into you. That's what makes the CT side so strong, is that you take the opening engagement on your own terms.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of map 2 and 3, and map 3, if we need it, absolutely. I mean, I think that, like I said, I'm still going to stand with my guts and say that map 2 and 3 definitely favor the likes of Overtake Sector, but still, Regain have to really put their pedal to the metal early on.
Look at this. They've already 3-stacked the B-bomb site. You don't see this that often. Only 2 towards A. On the pistol round, looks like Regain already going to come in and try to attack it early on.
Aggressive push-up lane. Jason's going to be put under pressure, but Intra is able to come to fruition. Finds the first frag onto Brennan, which is actually great now that I'm thinking about it. But Fuzenko is good for the trade right back onto Jason, and so the numbers are completely even with 35 seconds left on this plant. And slowly Overtake Sector are closing in.
Here comes the CTs trying to get onto the site, and they find the opening engagement, and here it comes. 20 seconds left. There is no kit on the play, so they need to be quick about this, but the headshots are found, and it's only a 1-on-3 at this point in time, and Lumar needs to get away from Dodge. Nothing more he could do. He has no more time to fight for this. Dirk and Fuzenko will do the job, and everyone will die for the sake of the bomb.
Yeah, and I mean, Regain just really were given optimal time to really set up those post plants. It felt like the bracket aggression was pretty standard for a pistol round, and the one thing that I like that Overtake Sector were able to take advantage of is that early frag into long haul, which allowed, I believe it was Learsea, to kind of tuck in and have a later activation whenever the reinforcements finally came in for that post plant. But round number 2 is going to be a very difficult one. Sacrifice and Learsea have upgraded pistols. However, Regain just trying to press the agenda. The MAC-10s and the single AK-47 that Fuzenko has. And I don't expect anything really to too crazy in the second round, but we're starting it off right. A sacrifice to find a great nade on the dirt. Zukar is going to open up the first frag of the B-bomb site, but the rotation is being thought about from Jason. And as Fuzenko finds Umar, that cements Jason's rotation back to the A-bomb site, but Regain are slowly walking into where the remaining 2 players of this B-bomb site are.
Let's see what this CT side can hold up to. These upgraded pistols. Can't find that much, and sadly, it'll be left seconds, well, now 40 seconds on the clock, right? Bomb goes down. Gonna be a 4 alive for the side of Regain, parting a crazy hit with some of these USBs. Not gonna happen, though.
Yeah, the pace of the MAC-10s, not easy to deal with if you only have pistols, especially the USPs, but Jason, all he can try and hope for is for exit frags down bottom banana. You can see that Regain are rolling 3 deep as they come down, and Grape should be able to find this opener, but Jason finds a little bit of a commiseration headshot, so a little bit of extra cash into the back pocket, but Regain, as expected, will pick up a second round, and the rifle's finally going to come to fruition for Overtake, and immediately Umar is picking up that AWP, not any armor behind it, but still, the glass cannon, if you're able to take advantage and capitalize on it, it's going to feel great. I got to watch Lag versus Xiaoma Gaming yesterday, and it was a battle of the AWPs, but we won't get to see that early on, as Umar is going to be the only one in the server up to now.
Well, the big green is in his hands, and he'll try to feel that big green energy soaring through his fingers. Try to tap down the players down mid. His first point of play. Waiting patiently. Zenko could present himself right into his face. He's awaiting it. Flash is perfect. And now as he repeats, the shot is missed. So we're still 5 alive on both sides. However, information goes both ways.
Yeah, and you can see the rotation starting to come in from Regain. Fuzenko and his accomplice in Grape still just trying to confirm the fact and give a little bit of a facade to Overtake that they need to stick around towards this A bomb site, and the arch smoke makes that brackets reclear even more difficult. But as the information has been taken from lane, you can see that Intra and Jason are starting to fight their way through. The rotations have been made to this B bomb site. It's going to be a CT smoke on the run, but the Sacrifice is able to confirm one of the kills of his own. Uzenko finds an immediate trade, but the B bomb site is completely secure for the time being, and the number is going to be punched in free of charge.
Calm down. Very difficult here for the retake because, yes, there is time and there is a kid on the play. It's Lyricea on low health. You don't have too much utility. The last Molotov is used to burn out Dirk, and he is burnt out alive. Great job. And as they slowly approach, a 4-man army becomes a 3-on-1. Tap on the bomb. They find the player in dark, and he is traded out. The kit is not needed. The bomb will be defused just in the nick of time. And it will be Overtake with their first of the game.
Yeah, the donut turned into the breadstick early on. Umar's op able to find only 1 kill, but still, that B site, which is notoriously hard to retake, seemed to be relatively swift for Overtake. But let's also not forget that Regain were only working with MAC-10s, and that same kind of ordeal is going to be what's going on for Regain coming into round 4. 2 MAC-10s in the hands of Fuzenko and Sasha. They're going to pick up a Galil, so not the exact firepower that you want, but Grape does join the forces, and Zukar once again on the only rifle that Regain have. But they're still not trying to let their feet off of the throats of Overtake and trying to extend this lead even further. And that would be exactly what you want on the T side of Inferno, but as the utilities exchanged out Banana, Grape is going to be left to try and solidify some of these site holds on the A bomb site.
So now have learned about how often they triple stack this B site. I think they're going to figure it out this round here as, well, it's a 1-for-1 already. They're only expecting a second, not the third. However, shooting is perfect, and it's going to be a 2-on-4. You only take 1 casualty on your way onto the B-bomb site. It is perfect. It is beautiful. And now, I think you go for the hunt here if you're the side of Regain.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. Umar doesn't have any cash to work with if he goes down, and that AWP, the heavy investment for Overtake, would do a great deal for Regain to be even recovered for Regain. But still, Umar and Jason just going to try and burrow themselves into the pit and mini pit, establishing that crossfire. But honestly, Regain don't have the best of money either, so a hunt, if it's not successful and Regain end up falling, is very financially costly. So with the 3rd round onto the board for Regain, they've been able to break through the B bomb site and have been able to hold Overtake in place on A as well. And this is the starting precedent of Regain just trying to create different facades across this map of Inferno.
But this is what I suspected, right? Again, they had a slow start against Detonate as well. It's when they switch over to the T side that I want to see what Overtake can do. Because Regain is strong on this map. Very, very strong on both sides of it. That's what they're known for. But let's see what Overtake can do. Because what I saw yesterday was absolutely mesmerizing on T side Inferno. And Overtake, if they could do the same thing they did to Detonate to Regain, I mean, Regain won't know what hit them.
Yeah, but you also mentioned Overtake haven't necessarily played against this level of competition just yet, and this is going to be their first real test as a reunited roster. Intro's able to catch the top brackets player off guard, but it just forces a retreat. The op of Umar strikes with swiftness as Fuzenko is immediate with the trade, but Intra bites off more than he can chew. It's a 3-on-3, going with 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the round, but Grape is left on an island. No, Jason is left on the island. Going for this aggressive play and successfully converts a kill onto Zukar.
That's so good. He gets himself in a great position, but Learcy hiding away in the little corner, missing bullets! And that means he can't get the 2-for-2. Instead, it's just a 1-for-1. And Grape left alone. 1-on-2. This is very doable at the end of the day, but he can't take a bullet. Otherwise, he is toast. He will be put 6 feet under. Second on the board for Overtake.
And the back and forth affair that we expected between these two rosters finally starting to unfold. The op of Umar being recovered is going to be one hefty investment that Overtake do not have to make going into round 6. You can see the finances starting to struggle ever so slightly for Regain as Dirk once again has a MAC-10. Sasha as well going to pick one up. But still, I'm expecting Regain to kind of go back to all reliable and apply a lot of pressure towards B, and that's exactly what's going to unfold. Zukar is going to be the main spearhead of Car, and is going to go prodding ever so slightly, but still, see that the retake utility for Car is being prepped up. But whether or not Overtake you're able to capitalize on it comes the next question.
Zukar on 14 HP is put out into the open. Taken out immediately. No damage taken by Overtake whatsoever. Umar going off his op, and look at the entry into Car. It's beautiful. The double team on the B site works its charm like magic. Grape left alone, 1-on-5 with 60 seconds on the clock. What is he even meant to do here? Trying to find some exits before he dies out as well, I guess. His position now known and noted.
Yeah, Sacrifice going to put the cherry on top. Overtake Sector able to tie us up at 3-all, really starting to add their finances. And an AK-47 recovered for Sacrifice as well. Round 7 might be a bleak one for Regain, so Overtake just can't get too overzealous on some of these peaks down mid. And I'd say the same goes for the banana position as well. I'd expect some information to be gathered from the op of Umar. You can see Intra is playing a dangerous game. Flashbang into brackets. Fuzenko is going to lead the charge up towards top mid. Early utility to try and delay the pushes if Regain does not find a home. Successfully stunts the growth towards top mid for Regain, but Umar still has to play angles proper, as the pistols are always a looming threat.
Especially against the op, right? They will triple, quadruple peek you. If you're not ready, you easily get flustered, taken out. Thing is, that's coming over towards the B-bomb site now, and Sacrifice into the contact, not going to get himself any damage taken upon him. And meanwhile, Learcy waits for the push out, and it's a perfect crossfire from the side of Overtake. They deal with all 5 between the two of them, and Overtake takes the lead.
And I felt like from Regain, it was a little bit of a coin flip. Umar hadn't made that op presence known just yet, so an attempt from Overtake to try and overwhelm the AWP, and like I said, that coin flip predicted to be on heads, but instead landed on tails, with Umar being posted towards brackets. It felt like that if Umar was posted from CT, those Glocks definitely overwhelm, as you kind of touched on earlier. Still, subpar firepower for Regain going into round 8. Take Sector on a roll early as Umar shuts down Fuzenko. That's the man advantage secured, but still space to be had towards Car. And Regan are going to be forced to expend a lot of utility to actually try and take this control, especially when Overtake Sector have been really prompt with their Car retake utility.
Well, Jason goes for the aggressive play. Great. Waiting for it. He will gain his reward for his patience. Being said now, Overtake lose that man advantage. They lose a very important player on their team in Jason. It's a lot of important frags, and he needs to step up. It's coming towards the A site now, but Lumar and Intra both here, both holding down each choke point.
And it's only a matter of time until Regain are given the space. Regain slowly walking their way up lane. Intra is going to try and spearhead this, but the flashbang preps Sukar to go swing, or Intra to go swinging, and he's able to walk away with one, make that two, especially on the reswing, and converts the hat trick early on. Umar forced to provide Overwatch, but Dirk converts kills just as easily as that site defender did. With the Moto Smoke deployed, that should be the numbers punched in free of charge, and you can already see that Leersey and Sacrifice are prepping up this utility to try and make an entrance through Moto.
And the smoke and flash to get themselves onto the site, or make Dirk think that they've moved in on him. They haven't. They've not made a move just yet. They're waiting for the original one to dissipate. Dirk on 3 HP, softened up by the nade, but not enough to go down. And this bomb goes to its conclusion. Nearly takes out a 1-on-4, but he just can't do it in the end. Close, but no cigar. This bomb is defused, and it's 5 on the board for Overtake.
Yeah, the idea was right there for Regain, but the great timed flashbangs out towards lane. And I mean, the Overwatch from Umar, it just felt like a meat grinder. Regain were forced to throw Dirk into that 1v4. Almost able to capitalize, but as a result, Regain now dealing with a little bit of financial struggles. And coming into the next few rounds of this map of Inferno, this is where Regain have to try and buy themselves enough breathing room on that CT side, because what I expected to be a relatively one-sided affair on Inferno hasn't quite been that just yet. So with the rest of the T side, it feels like Regain have to play more of the fundamentals of Inferno, whether that's the push and pull, applying pressure up towards brackets and trying to reroute right back towards Car and Banana. But they haven't been doing that. They've just been trying to overwhelm one side or the other. And I also think that's probably a little bit of a result of their lack of activity, because we touched on it. Regain haven't played an official since May 1st, and maybe some ring rust coming into play.
Not just that, right? But they're, as you said, they're just pushing, right? There's no pull.
Yeah.
Normally Inferno's push and pull. Right now, from the side of Regain, it's just push. There is no pullback. Sometimes they go to the other side, but they just do the same. They just push, right? There is no slight pulling back and then pushing your way back onto it. Okay, give them back a little bit of space because they threw out some utility. All right, push back in with your own. This is just straight up pushing and try peeking, and it's getting them round losses here. Honestly, Detonate played a better Inferno than they have so far. And I mean, no disrespect to Detonate here, but they're not the level of Regain that we are used to, right? Regain are a very strong team, and this is their strongest map by far. So the fact that they've lost so many rounds here already to start things off on the favorite T side, because let's be clear here in North America especially, Inferno's T side.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that, especially, like I said, when it comes to the fundamentals of Inferno being the push and pull and being able to create some ambiguity for the CT side. I mean, it feels like Regain are completely absent. Like I said, there's not a lot of pressure towards brackets when they're trying to hit B. There's not a lot of pressure towards Banana, only a little bit of Car utility and, you know, some gunfights happening up towards Car onto the B-bomb site, but they're going to need to show more cross-map presence to be able to really draw out the rotations that they want from Overtake.
At the end of the day, right now, Overtake are playing a very solid game, but it's exactly what I expected, right? A lot of aggressiveness out of their CT side, a lot of triple stacks over towards the B-bomb site, and when they haven't been triple stacking it, they've been quad stacking the A-bomb site instead. And it's been working out great. In this case here, they're actually going for a normal default. This is not strange necessarily, but it is for this team of Overtake, and it's a great aggressive play that they've been going for that I've warned Regain about as well. Sadly, they can't hear me through the caster screen, because otherwise they would hear me say they're going to push down mid and banana every single round, or almost every single round. And that is, it's burning them. They've not adapted whatsoever to this play from the side of Overtake.
Yeah, and I mean, Overtake are looking flawless. I mean, we touched on how there's a lack of push and pull, and we sound like broken records kind of touching on that, but that allows Overtake to really just kind of sit in place, and it doesn't draw any rotations out, doesn't force them to make any over-aggressive moves. But speaking of aggressive moves, it's going to be Umar with 2 frags down banana. That big green that we talked about being an investment for Overtake finally starting to play off, and Dirk is just dissuaded from the angle as Sasha finds the head of Umar.
All right. Oh, that's an aggressive one, but Indra walks down mid and shows you that they can get even more aggressive. The side of Overtake just love to push and pull on this map, and they're showing you exactly how it's meant to be done. You push Regain into a trap, and you pull from the other side. Take the rug from under them. Jason to hold down the A-bomb side on his lonesome on top of the box. Grabs the first. Can't hit Dirk, but he's on 8 HP. Again, a low HP 1vx clutch here for Dirk, and he can't even get the first this time around. So, it's a 7th on the board for the side of Overtake. They've won the CT side of Inferno.
Yeah, and I mean, this is where we're starting to see the fundamentals of Inferno start to be played. It felt like Regain were kind of forced into that push and pull where they didn't find success early towards Banana, and then were forced right back into the A-bomb site with only Grape and Dirk alive. But still, AK-47's recovered for Overtake. I'm very crucial on how the AK-47 is such a powerful weapon on the CT side. But now, Regain need to find at least one more round for their T side to not feel like a complete failure. I feel like 3 feels like your back's against the wall, but 4 or 5 definitely feels a little bit more doable going into the side swap.
One thing I have noticed from the side of Overtake is that they don't read the economy too well, right? Jason just bought for himself, but Lyric's on 13 grand, right? If they lose this round, sure, he can get dropped for him, and obviously, right, this is towards the end of the half, but if they were to win, right, Lyric's losing money. So, I'd like to see them learn to play the economy game just a little bit better here as the push from Regain comes onto the B site. It's been unaggressive so far, unassuming. And here comes the hit. Lyric grabs the head immediately. So 1 for 1. Now the B bomb site. Taking. However, Sacrifice pushes before the smoke plumes. Grenade right into the face of the default planter. And Intra through the smoke gets himself a kill from the backside. Rush and Grape left together in a 3-on-2. Turning 1-on-2. And Sasha can't he left any space whatsoever. It's 8 on the board. Oh, Regain just can't breathe.
Yeah, they can't breathe, and Overtake are starting to finally find confidence, and I feel like me saying finally sounds terrible, but I feel like coming into this matchup, they were a little bit more respectful of Regain than they should have been. Because, I mean, on paper, all 5 individuals of Overtake, I would argue, are on the same level of all 5 of Regain. If not better, call me crazy, but still, the confidence is starting to show, the swagger is starting to fly from Overtake sector, and no issues whatsoever on the CT side. The op of Umar is posted down Banana, but it's going to be the wrong gamble, as Regain are trying to apply a lot of pressure up towards brackets, and as a result, Intra is forced to make his way back towards Moto, but that's opened the door wide open for Regain to try and take arches.
Zenko and Sasha both eat a huge nade, and we're about to eat a huge flash, but it's a great dodge. They're able to get the player dead. They can at least try to get this back. Get a 4th round on the board, however, the library play makes it difficult. It's a 3-on-3 here as they swarm onto the A side. Mason just can't hold it down. A 2-on-3. Still very possible here for Overtake. They've gotten themselves only a smoke left, though. It's probably going to be used right here to lurk out, and it is. Lyric's and Umar need to play together. make things work. Zukar spotted. And the 1-on-2 finishes the job. An 8-4 to start off on the first half. And let me tell you, this does not get easier for Regain because Overtake do their best work on the T side.
Yeah, and I mean, I talked about how 3 rounds feels measly, but 4 is just enough to try and create some space on the CT side of Inferno. But heading into this side swap, I mean, Regain have to hit the ground running because there is no time to waste, especially if Overtake only need 2 to find double digits and 5 to find the map win. And especially this being the map pick of Regain, it feels like a lousy performance. So I'm going to need to see a little bit more out of the individuals and maybe a little bit more cohesion from each player on this Regain roster. But you can already see that Overtake trying to play the fundamentals to their finest. Early pressure up Banana. The 4-man regroups back towards the A bomb site. But Overtake currently are playing right into the hands of Regain. The 4-man stack from Regain might work its wonders. But Overtake sector have been really good about collecting information. And look at that. Sasha already being close by is going to draw Overtake right back to the B bomb site. Umar has the advanced positioning on the other side of the smoke. So if Zukar gets too overzealous, then he'll be caught completely off guard.
It is a 1-on-5 essentially here for Zukar, and P2K in hand. He's going to be surprised spotting 1. Doesn't get the headshot right away, but it's a 1-for-1. And the retake is going to be very late here as the bomb gets planted immediately. They need to be quick on this retake on the side of Regain. And that smoke, the connector, is going to make things very difficult.
At Jason close by Church, Umar able to open up the entry, so he's grabbed the attention, and Sasha has to find the double take, but finds 2 heads instead. Interest trying to force the fight all the way into CT spawn, and successfully does, but the post plants have been established. All Intra has to do is play the tap, but as the tap comes in, Fuzenko is going to be noted to be holding, and Sacrifice will not find the shot early on, so the 10-second stick comes through. And Sasha reaps the rewards finding the hat trick. Yeah, he did have a kit now that I'm looking at it. So the 5-second stick, but still 3 kills to his name. And Regain will not have to sell their shoes to fund this next buy round.
And honestly, that won them the round. That kit just came through so clutch for the side of Regain. I don't think he's able to get that 10-second stick through. The fact he has a kit on the play is able to really scruff with Overtake's timings. That gives Regain their second pistol, meaning they've won both pistols here. It's what they do with it afterwards that really matters.
Yeah, and off the back of the bomb plant, Overtake not going to be afraid to force into this one. Although the utility is a little bit lackluster, they're not going to have enough room and enough utility to be able to create that push and pull unless they catch this rotation from Zukar. You can see that Zukar on the minimap is starting to creep up towards Banana. And if Umar is able to catch him off guard, then that swings this door wide open. But Overtake, not finding that frag, are going to reconvene towards brackets and try to take all of their firepower towards Arch side, where the crossfire of Fuzenko and Sasha is established.
They spotted, but Sasha can't do anything. Neither can Fuzenko. And the A bomb site falls despite the stack. Not a kill is found. And that is Overtake on 9, completely destroying the economy of Regain.
And as Zukar
Zukar
runs
even
away,
gonna be allowed to save this.
yeah, I mean, you can already see that he's clearly not. I mean, the hunt is already underway, but Zukar just has to hope and pray that he's able to find the shots that matter. Because if this M4 is ripped out of his hands, this round was an absolute failure, and Regain will fall flat onto their faces. Learcy's trying to hunt with the MAC-10. There's a slow creep from Jason, and Learcy's grabbed the attention. The location is now noted, and so Jason has a free walk into the backside.
Oh my god.
And the M4 ripped out of the hands. A round that Overtake had no business pulling off is one that will put them one step closer to double digits.
Pulling off in the way that they did, right? Pulling off a huge 4K on the A site, nonetheless, without taking a death.
Yeah.
That is not something that you normally see. A 4-stack of the A site getting 0 kills. Not unheard of, but it must hurt.
And as a result, Regain going to be stuck to upgraded pistols. Zukar going to be the only one with some semblance of firepower, that MP9. but barely any utility to work with if you're Regain. 3-man stack towards B, though, happens. A flashbang over the top, and Fuzenko doesn't find anything. It's going to be Zukar instead, but Jason is immediate with the 2 trades. You can see that the information that Overtake have been given is starting to draw a little bit of a rotation back towards bottom banana. The MP9 has been recovered, and Regain have already made their rotations to this B bomb site. The smoke towards CT from Jason will actually solidify and put some hesitation into Dirk's mind. But Dirk sticks with his gut instinct and makes the rotation back to A. It's Grape on an island for the time being and has to defend against 3 members of Overtake.
Here they come, and the first headshot is beautiful! Oh, what a shot by Grape! He gets 2, looking for the 3rd, knows where he's coming from, gets him in the chest. That said, though, Umar finishes off, and the site falls. It's a 1-on-2, and Sasha, he could go for this. And you know what? He damn well should. In the 1-on-2 here, looking for it. Anything that he can find. And he won't get the money, he won't get the kills, and he won't get the defuse. Overtake, double up on Regain, 10-5.
And the thing that stands out to me from Overtake is how effortless they're making some of these rounds feel. I mean, don't get me wrong, Grape had a great 2K from mid-site, but it feels like that's completely expected from Grape. And don't get me wrong, they're difficult shots to pull off, but considering those were some of the only frags that Regain were finding, kind of speaks numbers, but Grape and the rest of Regain are going charging down bottom mid. Grape's able to convert 1, but it's a meat grinder as Dirk and Umar exchange fire, and Umar puts Zukar to rest. And Overtake will find an 11th round, and call me crazy, QDC, but that could have been the nail in the coffin, although the finances will finally be in favor of Regain. M4s across the board, plenty of utility to work with. But Fuzenko, still drawing the short end of the stick, does have the FAMAS in hand, so I am still 100% concerned if I'm Regain.
I am as well, but still, job done on that last round, right? Not a full save necessarily, but you get 4 kills with nothing but upgraded pistols. That's huge, right? You completely take out any advantage the Overtake economy might have had. And now if they lose this, well, you've got yourself a free ticket to a 7th, and Zukar gets himself 2 with the banana play. And that is a one-way ticket straight to a 6th round win. However, I've seen Overtake come back from these, claw these back, even though there's 2 players here on the B-bomb site in a great crossfire position. Perfect for players coming out of the apartments here. I've seen Intra, Lyracy, and Jason do crazy things. And together, they've gotten a sum of 44 kills already. And I don't want to say so silently, but I mean, I haven't said Jason's name too often yet. He's already on 15 here as Intra goes for the 1-on-1 on Dirk, loses it. And now that 3-on-5 can't really be overtaken back into a favorable position for the T side. Looks like they're already looking to save.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it feels like the proper call from Overtake should be to try and recover this AWP and take it into the next round. Jason as well trying to deny an AK-47 for the recovery from Regain, and rightfully so. A 6th round on the board for Regain. And Overtake looking a bit stagnant in their early round is what feels like is their demise. Not a lot of banana pressure applied, and some brute forcing into long haul gets shut down. But Regain finally able to gasp for some air, have found their head above water. Still have more work to do if they want to even think about tying us up at 11.
Overtake here. Lose that round, but they still got such a huge advantage. And the way that they won these rounds, right? They were very convincing ever since they switched over to the side. They're going to use up all their money here, put all their bread in one basket. Try to win it here and now, instead of allowing Regain to get an inch closer to their position. They don't want them anywhere near sniffing the hopium. They want to keep them as far away from hope and glory as possible.
Rare miss shot from the op of Umar. Zukar able to capitalize with that bottom banana smoke. One thing that's kind of striking to me is that off the back of that bottom banana smoke, Regain haven't offered much contest towards bottom banana. It feels like 9 times out of 10 when you see teams deploy that specific smoke, they're looking to take a lot of space. But that does slowly force Overtake to try and recover that space, making sure that they have to cross all T's and dot all I's. Another frag towards the A bomb site does force Overtake right back towards B. And it feels like they've established proper positioning. But Zukar being boosted up on the ledge will nullify any effect that this CT smoke does have.
Waiting patiently here. On the side of Regain, they're playing this very, very cautiously. As they should, down by so much. They need this to be perfect. They need this to go right. And with Zukar on a third of his health and Sasha retreating to the back of the bomb site with 15 seconds left on this clock, they might just hit the site too late here. They're coming in dry. There's 10 seconds on this clock. They need to get the kills now and get the bomb planted yesterday. It's not going to happen. They waited way too long for the hits. And it's come back to bite them here. They give away that 7th. To Regain. Yes, 2 will save. The op is maintained again, but that's a head scratcher.
I kind of want to disagree with you, QDC, in that being a head scratcher. I think that specifically is one of those plays that if it doesn't work out, Overtake look kind of in the wrong. But I feel like if it does work out, it's a miracle play. You send Jason in to try and find opening frags, and if not, you get to save the AWP and the AK-47. So I think that's a heads-up play from Overtake to try and take the round while also having an opportunity to still save some of your economy that you've invested into it. Round 19 is going to be a little bit of an awkward one, though, considering that op and the AK are the only tools that Overtake have to work with. But the amount of space that has been given towards brackets gives me a little bit of hope. You can see that Regain are playing with a passive posture back towards the B bomb site. And Overtake are still going to have to expend utility to try and find an entrance into car. Instead, the flashbang will ring over the top of brackets. Learcy is going to be chopped down by Sasha's import. As a reaction, Sasha drops all the way back to Moto. That gives the go-ahead for Overtake to start creeping up towards B, as Jason is slowly going to reconvene with the rest of his squad.
For another B hit. This time around, the op rings out, shows off that it's in the vicinity. But no rotates. Picked up here by the side of Regain. No one believes it. No one buys it. Have a good feeling of Fuzenko and Zukar. And they hear all this jumping and grenade throwing. They don't believe it. And suddenly they do spot the op. They see all of the grenades falling onto the site. Finally, they will believe, and they'll be able to hold down the site just by the 2 of them. No need for reinforcements. An 8th on the board for the side of Regain. And finally, a full save is going to be needed here from the side of Overtake. Maybe not full save, but
Yeah, I mean,
Eagles.
Desert Eagles, P250 into the hand of Sacrifice. Jason going to pick up some armor just in case one of the rifles are recovered from Regain. But on paper, this should be a 9th, as Overtake are just looking to recover some of their money. Dirk maintaining Overwatch from the porch position. Grape has been a little bit absent throughout this matchup so far. Hasn't necessarily had the opportunity to get activated. It's all been Zukar. An Overtaker slowly starting to fade away. 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. Haven't made too much presence known towards brackets, but the footsteps of Umar are definitely being heard from Grape. You can see as well Sasha thinking about pushing up towards Moto. Not spotting in from any information. Grape goes for the wide swing and successfully rips the head from the shoulders of Umar. But it's a passive posture from the rest of Regain as the flashbang rings over the top of Moto. Sasha's only good for 1 as the trade finally hits its mark, but the rotations are starting to come through for Regain. And now slowly Overtaker being put between a rock and a hard place.
Oh, I mean, Here's the side of Overtake, though, showing off that they've got themselves a clutch bone in them. And Intra looking for an ace 1v4 clutch, but he plants the bomb in the open, thinking he's not going to get peeked. That's exactly what happens, though. Fuzenko finishes the job before the clutch can really get on going. That wouldn't have been
Overtake
5, right? That would have been like a
Yeah.
1v3. Is it a 1v5?
I believe so, yeah. If I remember correctly.
Wow.
You've got me second guessing my own memory.
I'm kind of second guessing myself too now, but I mean, I saw it all when Overtake plays Detonate, so I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if a 1v5 actually were to occur in this game here. Finally, we've got ourselves a full buy for both teams, and Regain, having won 4 in a row here, clawed back their way into this one. Make it. Where Overtake really have to push to get over the line here, because 11 is not safe. You do not have overtime secured here. They're not on the verge of 13 just yet. Fiercey gets the opener, and Umar able to trade him out.
Oh, it's the
That's
wrap.
a 4-on-3, and suddenly, for Dirk, he is alone. He needs to be wary of all sides around him. This is going to be a B-wrap, and he's not going to know about it until the site is taken.
Well, there's a gap in the right
Not
side of
deep
that smoke,
enough.
though.
Yeah, and they're not going to know it on the side of Overtake until they peek into it. Yeah, there you go. Free smoke now onto it. And Dirk can't do anything. He's got to wait it out. Bomb goes down. It's a 4-on-3 retake. You're not going to love this if you're Regain. You're going to go for it anyway. That's Jason going down from Grape's side. Umar with the trade. And now both players remaining are in the banana. Smoke just goes away now. Great grenade. It deals some damage onto Sasha. Here comes the push, but it's a 3-on-1 now for Dirk. He's good for it, but he's not going to finish it off. It's 12 on the board. 3 not match points. Map points. Not bad. We're only map 1 here.
Yeah, and I mean,
The other
only
Crossfire
map.
game ended.
Well, I mean, it's only map 1 UDC, but it feels like the back and forth affair that we've expected, and some of these rounds have been drawn out a little bit longer than need be. And it feels like Overtake Sector, whenever they're able to successfully find an opening frag and secure the man advantage, more often than not, they're relatively successful in closing out these rounds. But for the past few, it's just been a strugglesome affair to try and find those opening duels. Triple up towards Banana does come to fruition as Dirk just sits down Jason, and immediately Overtake thrown into the man disadvantage and are trying to wrap back to A. The rotation from Dirk is already on the way, so if Overtake want any opportunity at finding an advantageous site take, it's going to have to be here and it's going to have to be now. But Grape has put in a position to really succeed and does find the first kill. Dirk, offering Overwatch from Library, is able to assist in this defense. But in the 3v2, Sacrifice is going to have to do all of the heavy lifting, and it's not made any easier by the HE grenade.
No, it isn't. He's on an 11 HP here. Essentially, he needs to go out there and get himself in a position where he can get himself traded, though. They've heard the footsteps. Rotation is coming through on the side of Fuzenko. This is a 1-on-2 for the B site. And for Fuzenko's side, he can't go down with nothing here. He needs to find at least one as he gets smoked off. The Molotov to stop the advance. He's going to push through his own smoke here. And look at this play from the side of the T's. Sacrifice is left alone, but his position noted. Possibility is noted. And it's a 12-10. 2 more opportunities for Overtake to win this in regulation.
Yeah, and I thought that if the op of Umar followed up his teammate, there was a world where they pulled off that insane wrap through Church. And Regain looked a little bit stagnant on that rotation late, but for good reason. Wanted to re-clear brackets fully and make sure that Overtake weren't sound baiting them back into the B bomb site. Sometimes Fuzenko hasn't been able to come and assist his team at the most. Finding the shots that matter has been Regain. It's a 2-round game. As Overtaker starting to run out of ideas, it feels like. We've seen structured play in the early stages of the T side, but as this T side has unfolded, it feels like they just keep trying to brute force their way in, and the car utility was near to force them back. And that is exactly what happens. Overtake forced out of car. Jason still a little bit hesitant about walking through the smoke and trying to recover some of this space. But Overtake still sticking to their guns.
Feels to me like Regain have adapted to Overtake's playstyle. It could be too little too late because Overtake obviously on 12 first, but for the side of Overtake, they're trying to adapt to the adaptation, and, well, evolution takes time. Let's see if they're able to win this one in regulation, or if Regain are strong enough here to pull this over the finish line into overtime. It's a 1-on-2 on the bomb site, and it does not go well for the side of Regain. They need to retake this in 3-on-4 situation. They've already done it once. They've done a 3-on-4 retake, but they need to do it again, and it's not going to favor them whatsoever.
30 seconds left on the clock, too. The rotations were a little bit slow, so there's already been a great deal of time burned off of this bomb.
Smoke here, really stopping this from going any easier for the side of Regain, but they fire off one, and it's a 1-on-2 here. It's doable, but the Crossfire too strong. It's 13-10, and Regain will lose their own map pick.
Yeah, I mean, an absolutely, phenomenal game plan, I think, from Overtake in the early stages of this map. But once Regain found themselves on the CT side, they put our early doubts to rest. And QDC, I'm excited for Mirage, because if Overtake were able to do this to Regain on Regain's map pick, mind you, I have high hopes going into this next map.
This is a huge win for the side of Overtake. Again, they lost both pistols. Remember that. They lost both pistols in this map, and they still managed to win so many in the gun rounds, right? And I feel like this is, from Regain's point of view, a lack of adaptation on the T side. Once they got into CT side, they were able to do so, but it was too little too late, right? They weren't up to the task to really bring back that 8-4 deficit that they were in early on. And once it got 11-5, I mean, it's a very tall order to come back from so far away. The fact that they were able to bring it so close in the end is commendable. But at the end of the day, right, you let the game slip away from you.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with that. I think that Regain were a little bit stagnant on some of the rotations, specifically in that very last round of play. But QDC, we have map number 2 of Mirage coming up, and if map number 1 was this back and forth, I am excited to see where map number 2 takes us, because if there's one map that I think is 100% a coin flip, it's going to be Mirage. So don't go anywhere. We've got map number 2 of Mirage on Regain versus Overtake sector coming at you after a short break.
This live stream is sponsored by SCL, an all-in-one CS2 training platform with a practice server, 2D viewer, and unique training modes like Defense Mode. Defend sites against bot executes that get harder every round. And Trade Fire, a pre-fire mode where enemies actually try to trade you. You can run every mode in co-op and track your progress and stats across all your training. Plus, you get an advanced 2D demo viewer. Use code Crossfire40 for 40% off your first month. That's under $3.
Like a vision you couldn't see clear, and now life's a conversation. You bet it's only one side of love. I hear you saying, you say you like me better all the way, and I swear that I try, but I was so blind. They say it works it if you let them stay, so I count my dice. This is my good, and I'm saying, oh. resting and drifting. That was all that I had. But no more, said no more. I faced it. My scars won't have ghosts. No more. You will never love me like I do. I would try to forget you, but I never do. And when I close my eyes,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crossfire Season 5. Quantum Deathcat here, still with Blakert. We've got ourselves an interesting first map that already has been played, and Mirage is going to be up next. This is the map pick of our famous Overtake team, but it is also the map they lost up against FC Detonate. So I am curious to see if they can right the ship. What went wrong last night against Detonate, they can do right here up against Regain. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's going to be a back and forth affair. I kind of touched on it before we went to break that if there's any map that's going to be a little bit of a coin flip, then it's going to be Mirage. I think the keys to success for either of these teams is finding the opening duels and cementing that man advantage. But QDC, one thing that has helped me prepare for this matchup is going to be SCL. SCL, I want to give a massive shout out to. They're who help us put on Crossfire Season 5. And not only is SCL useful as a player, whether you're looking for scrims, looking for training tools, SCL has been useful to me as a commentator, as I'm able to access 2D demos, use some of their AI match insights to get tendencies that some teams like to do, and I'm also able to layer over multiple matches at once to see specifically where operas like to position, where lurks tend to happen for certain teams. So before we get into map 2, a massive shout out to SCL. But like I said, QDC, I think that it's going to be a battle of the ops coming into Mirage. And if there's anything that either of these teams need to do on the CT side, is to take control of the extremities so that they can bolster down mid or vice versa. Fight out towards mid, get really aggressive towards top mid boxes, and then try to bolster down the sites, because this map could go either way. And as you touched on, Overtake Sector did lose to FC Detonate. And that is a little bit of a concerning result, but I almost think that that might just be a one-off occurrence, because Overtake looked incredible on Inferno.
So I want to say this, right? When they started off on Mirage, they won 4 in a row. And by that point, they had won 14 of 15 rounds in a row, if you count Inferno as well, right? Their T side on Inferno. And so those 14 round wins were incredible. They were one side. They were convincing, right? And then Detonate came through and they just showed up on the map in a way that Overtake wasn't ready for. So hopefully here Overtake are much more ready to take the game seriously on their own map pick of Mirage.
Yeah, already. Overtake trying to lead the charge up towards mid. Not going to find anyone home, but there's only 2 members trying to defend this B bomb site. The Molotov forces Sasha out of position, but he goes to check up on Catwalk and will not find anything. It's Zukar instead to find Sacrifice, as he lives up to the name. But Intra's taking a great deal of space towards jungle, has the window control, has jungle space, and Dirk's rotation is going to be completely cut off as his head is separated from his shoulders. But you can see that the information that Intra has been able to collect is going to lead Overtake right into the B bomb site, as Jason and Intra, all they have to do is hold these rotations in place, because Umar is already about to punch in the numbers.
It's a 4-on-3 here as the retake comes in from the side of Regain already, but Jason in the back line making things difficult and slowing down that retake just that slight little bit. He will go down without a kill, but some damage dealt as Lyrically left in a 1-on-4. He'll find one, but can't do much more than that. It's a Regain retake, and they will take over the first round. They have not lost a pistol all game long.
Yeah, but we also saw on the start of Inferno, Regain found the first, I want to say, 3 or 4 rounds, but weren't able to convert much after, as Overtake got rifles into the hands. And like we said, QDC, this Overtake roster is a reunion from old times, And I think that chemistry doesn't go anywhere except for right back into the server. So if there's any opportunity for Overtake to really steal this one back, it's going to be here because they have 2 hero rifles. They have a MAC-10 in the hands of Jason and Learcy, and Umar is going to be the only one on a little bit lesser firepower. There's utility to enable an entrance onto one of these bomb sites in general. But Regain haven't gotten too pushy into either the extremities or top mid. They're still cautious of this full eco round coming into round 2, and rightfully so, but with that bomb plant, they have to be expecting some sort of contest in the firepower department.
Overtake are going to take their sweet time this time around to push down mid, but again, they sure love this mid control. They are taking it slowly but surely. In the meantime, it's aggression from the side of Regain towards T steps, and that pushes them towards the B-bomb side. Lumar gets himself 1, but it's all traded out. In the end, it's a 2-on-4 in favor of Regain. This force buy for Overtake not going as well as it did in the second half of Inferno.
And Regain with that late fight towards ramp recovered all of the information that they needed to find. Sacrifice, his head will be put onto a silver platter as Regain find a second round. As much as I hate to say it, felt expected, but Regain clearly with the firepower advantage, able to recover AK-47s early as well, as Dirk is going to continue with that scout, try and get that AWP up. But Umar will be a little bit delayed in finding that big green. Regain still looking to push the agenda forward, trying to take this lead to 3. Overtake only have upgraded pistols. That mid-fight does find success from Zukar as he collects 2 names to his own kill feed. And Sasha shuts down an early B push. So Jason and Learcy left in the 2v5. And not much to write home about. I mean, it feels like Overtake were just trying to find isolated duels. The rifles that Regain have, it's going to try and play the range game and successfully do so. So a 3rd round. But money finally in the bank accounts for Overtake. Plenty of utility to work with, so they should be able to find their entrance onto one of these bomb sites. But the question becomes, do they try to prioritize mid control and then try to split into either A or B? Or do they just all out find a site hit with a full execute of smokes?
See what they end up occurring here, and look at Regain pushing up mid, and somehow Zukar wins that fight on Intra. Spray and pray. Well, the prayer did not reach God. Learcy finds that the B-bomb site is open for business, and the bomb joins in relatively quickly. It's a 5-on-4 retake, and this would honestly be pretty good here for Regain. They could go up 4-0 here if all things go right for them. Just need another to go their way. Jason's not burnt out, though. Into the open to fight these players alone, and Sacrifice gets that first, and he takes all of the aggression. That being said, the trades are amazing, and Grape gets himself 2. Umar up against Zukar and Grape, 1-on-2, and Grape gets the 4K, the retake on the site, and the defuse. At the end of the day, he does it all and gives Regain a 4th.
I mean, it's the Grape show. 4 kills, AK-47 in hand, and the retake looking swift. The AWP is going to be put into the hands of Dirk. And it felt like Umar had an optimal position in apartments, but wasn't able to activate in time to offer support to his team once that retake was unfolding. Still, plenty of rifles for Overtake sector to work with. However, the op of Dirk will present its own set of challenges. Op flashes do come out towards top mid. Uzanko able to walk away with a kill of his own, but still there's a player towards underpass, and that's going to be Zukar. Finds a great activation, only dropped down to 74 HP and collects a second to his name. It's Jason and Learcy in familiar territory in the 2v4, and Jason is forced to try and activate out of this A bomb site, but Dirk finds the spot and will go down without much of a fight. Zukar is close by, and with low HP is able to find the hat trick. And so as Zukar recovers the rifle and some of the utility, Learcy has what feels like an impossible task, but if he's able to isolate the fights, then there's an opportunity, but he's just missed the timing of Zukar heading into Palace.
And he's gonna get shot in the back regardless. That was an impossible 1-on-3, no matter what was gonna happen there. Even if he gets the bomb plant, he is surrounded on all sides. He has no idea. The timing just doesn't favor him. And Regain up 5-0 on Overtake's on that pick.
And look at the amount of money that each individual player has. Sasha at $7,000, Zukar at 61, Dirk with the AWP has 6,000 as well. So even if Regain were to fumble the bag in this specific round against Tech9s, they will have the rebuy with ease. It's going to be Tech9s only, though, for Overtake Sector. Plenty of utility, but they're going to change up their plan. They're going to sway away from that default and try to execute right onto this A bomb site, but with utility missing, that gives me a little bit of doubt.
Fire will burn out Dirk inside a sandwich, and meanwhile Grape continues his onslaught on the T side. He'll finally go down, but the rest of his teammates will pick up the pace. Jason in a 1-on-3 of himself. Tech9, he's gonna push right into his death. It's 6-0.
Yeah, and Regain making that site defense look effortless. Grape tucked into the ninja position, able to kind of go unchecked, considering that both of his teammates were taking all of the attention away from Overtake. And, I mean, already, like you mentioned, Overtake Sector not finding success on their own map pick. And I believe if I remember what you said correctly, you said that Overtake did lose to detonate on Mirage. So maybe a map that Overtake are starting to find struggles with as they try to advance the strat book and try to expand it into unknown territory. But Regain, I mean, what more could you ask for? It's one of the oldest maps in Counter-Strike, playing the fundamentals properly, whether it's the extremity takes or whether it's the mid takes. And the shots are also connecting. I mean, look, Zukar's at 10-1 going into round 6, been doing a majority of the heavy lifting. It feels like Grape has had some great impact throughout these rounds. But on the stat board, Zukar takes the charge.
Definitely. Honestly, Zukar, he's charging in, right? 10-1, but Grape has been the one, not on the back end, right? Because he's not the first in or the first out, right? But he's definitely one of the pack players that comes in and just cleans up shop when everyone else is falling around him. He doesn't take the original heat, and because of that, all the players aren't looking at him when he starts to fire off, and by then, it's too late. Their heads are already all over the wall.
And as this tech pause lingers on, of course, as I say it, it comes to a close.
That's a great caster curse. I like those.
I think that's one of the only acceptable caster curses.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I've done a couple of caster curses myself in recent times. I think are not highly unethical, but I mean, they worked.
I like the word choice there, the unethical caster curse, as if there is an ethical one. But speaking of ethics, Fuzenko is getting very disrespectful towards top mid and is punished for it. See that Dirk is trying to maintain the position into window. But meanwhile, the rest of Overtake are trying to regroup for this mid take. And although it's delayed, there's an opportunity for them to take this round. I touched on how on Inferno, it feels like when they find man advantages early, they have a lot more ease to actually convert. But will that reign true here on Mirage?
Instead of Overtake here, I still don't count them out of this game. This is their map pick after all, and Regain, even though they're down a map already, could loosen up on that gas pedal. And already this round could be one of those, as Zukar gets the first and only kill for the Regain side this round. And Dirk gonna stick around, try and find something, but he surely gets out with his life here. They're not going to go hunt, I think, on the side of Overtake. They don't have the money to do so. That being said, looks like Intra is at least interesting in the notion. Does some damage, but despite not very favorable to the AK, they've cornered the op into ticket booth.
Yeah, but Dirk's been excellent about isolating the duels. Newmar will find a fourth to top off the hat trick. I mean, that round specifically was just carried by Umar, able to find 2 kills through connector from Catwalk. And as soon as Overtake found the frags on A, they knew that the rotations were sure to come in, especially with a piece going up into connector. And not necessarily committing, but just kind of hanging around to try and give Regain a false sense of security that the B bomb site wasn't going to be the target. Clearly not working to their favor. No smoke connects. Intra not getting too aggressive on this mid pressure. Rightfully so, because every time that Regain have really tried to show force mid, they've had success in doing so. During that last round, considering it was just one player going for that mid fight. A redeploy of the utility out towards mid. Overtake looking capitalized late. The op from Dirk rings out, but he's able to make an escape.
5 on 5 still. These first 50 seconds have been eventful, but just nothing found in terms of actual deaths. Everyone's heartbeat still out and pumping. Dirk, who's down to 8 HP, the walking wounded, but Zukar gets hit in the face. Oh, Intra! A quick shot. It's a great trade onto Grape as well. The A-bomb site falls. Dirk to get a shot onto Sacrifice, but do you even consider going for this, even with that 1 kill back? I wouldn't think so either. And Lircy trying to just block it off. Can Dirk get away just in time? The answer is yes. They're not going to hunt it down surely this time.
I think if any round provides an opportunity for them to go hunting, it's going to be this round right here. You can see the money isn't necessarily the best going into the next round for Overtake if they all do falter, but still, I think Umar having plenty of facilities to be able to pull off a drop. Lircy at minimum wants to try and find the AWP because Dirk has only 8 HP. Lircy does end up hitting the floor, so AK-47 not going to be taken into the next for Overtake. Dirk and Sasha get to take their investments and bring them into the next. So round number 9 on the horizon, slowly thawing out this freeze time. And Umar just putting his team on his back to try and find openings across this map of Mirage. Has found success doing so, but it's off the back of Regain not putting a lot of pressure out towards mid early on.
Now Overtake been able to get these couple of round wins here. They will continue to ride on that success, surely. Because again, once the momentum shifts, Overtake, like Max or Verstappen, they just go and they drive like crazy. Yeah, sure, they hit a couple walls early on in this one, but they are driving like hell, possess them. However, that being said, Regain putting their foot back on that gas pedal. They did release it that little bit, and now 5 alive. They completely take down Overtake, and, well, everything that they've built up for. Not looking great for the side of Overtake. They'll have to fully buy in. No money will be left over. Regain. Could be up big.
To kind of piggyback off of your F1 reference, it felt like Overtake were trying to trail break their way into that B bomb site, but that is exactly what opened up the opportunity for Regain to hit rotations into B. But in round 10, it will be a successful opening duel for Umar. Dirk is able to take out Sacrifice off of the back of the aggressive underpass peak. Sasha with the MP9 has made his way into apartments. Umar will punish for the aggression. And look at this, pedal to the metal for Overtake out towards the B bomb site. Umar's going to try and catch off rotations, and as he spots the first player making an entrance, he's been able to hop out of apartments completely unnoticed. Uzenko will pay the price. Jason on the A bomb site has created a little bit of confusion, but Dirk only needs 1 bullet. It's a crisp, clean shot of the 5-7. Dirk is now stuck in a hard place, has to convert 2 more kills to pull off this round win.
You'll want 1v3 ace clutch, right?
Yeah. 1v3 ace clutch on the menu. Number's going to be punched in. And plenty of money for Regain as well, so if you're Dirk, why not go for this? 6,500 in just Dirk's pocket.
I think it's more of a question of his health, though. You know, if he was on full health, I'm sure he'd consider it. With 32, it's not very feasible. Especially as he was in the window. He could have rushed in for it, but not going to risk it. They'll have the op into the next, and they'll have enough money to buy for the rest of this half here. Guaranteed now with the save op of the op here. They'll be good to go. Overtake are going to try to do what Regain tried to do over on Inferno, which is come back down so much, right? At one point, it was 8-3 in favor of Overtake on that Inferno. Regain were able to bring it to 8-4. At the end of the day here, Overtake could do the same.
But I definitely think that with Mirage being such a CT-sided map, it offers up even more opportunity for Regain to solidify their lead going into the second half. Overtake have found success in these later rounds, but it's not been without their own set of struggles. It feels like Umar's having to throw himself into the fire to really capitalize and find opening picks for Overtake. That's not exactly what you want, is your financial investment being put at risk. You also know what they say, QDC. No risk, no reward. Round 11. Overtake. Playing safe rather than sorry.
Looking once again to grab not just the mid control, but around the palm of their hand. But Fuzenko has other ideas. This lurk is going to give away the name of the game. And look at Grape down into steps. Just being a nuisance. Slowing down this hit. And making sure that Overtake have obstacles in their way. That being said, Fuzenko and his flank will not come to fruition here. No way, Jose. Regain dumped down. And Overtake. And get themselves a fourth, barring a possible, but not probable round here from Fuzenko. He's not even going to entertain it.
Yeah, just looking to find some exit frags. Here's he's going to be put on the chopping block, but the spot has been made. Fuzenko gets to walk away with a commiseration kill. 26 HP. He has to go running for the hills. He's actually going to stick around into T-spawn, giving an opportunity for the last two, or not the last two, but the two T-side members into T-spawn to find him in the side. But Fuzenko will convert a second kill, so that flank not completely useless, but still not at the result of a round win. It felt
it's
like
useless in the
Regain...
context that they wanted to win the round, right? But not
Yeah.
useless in the sense that he stayed alive. Because
Yeah, exactly. Plenty of finances recovered. I mean, the kills in itself add money to the bank accounts. And it felt like Regain had the proper play, but they were a little bit too over-aggressive on some of the peaks they were trying to pull off to really stalwart this push that Overtake had towards the A site. And so, double up into a ramp. It's beautiful. As Jason finds two. Grape strikes back with a shot of his own. But still, it feels a little bit too late if you ask me, QDC. AK's down into ramp. Sasha's going to be the only one home on the B bomb site, and Intra has completely thrown off the rotation. Sasha has to go big or go home, but he's only good for one. His sacrifice will put the cherry on top, and Grape is miles away.
And the Grape, big moments here. He's going to push through the smoke, immediately spotted, and Sacrifice only needs one. That'll be his fourth kill of the map, and for a 6-0 start from Regain, that falls completely flat afterwards. Overtake have all the momentum as they switch onto the favorite side.
Yeah, but we also have talked about it. Regain have been flawless on the pistol rounds up to now.
True.
And so whether or not they'll be able to continue that uptrend will be the next question. Dual Berettas are going to be dropped for the side of Overtake, so a possibility at a site setup. Only one set of Dual Berettas appears in the inventory, so maybe someone didn't pick a pair up. And Learcy's going to be left to jump spot towards Ticket. Regain are opting for the slow walk all the way out B, but little do they know all the information has been gathered. Learcy's going to be there to try and convert some of the contact, but Dirk is able to convert the first kill, and Fuzenko finds a second. The rain of Regain's pistol rounds, at least early on, has provided, and Jason is trying to get aggressive out of market door, but converting the kills is a whole different story. A sacrifice hits the floor as well. Umar only has dual Berettas and wants to prioritize saving that and his armor on his back. And rightfully so as the Opper.
Yeah, he hasn't taken damage. He could get the $350 head armor here into the next. That being said, though, he's still going for these fights. Now down to 1 HP. I mean, getting these dualies into the next could be a bit big, but he is being hunted down, and on 1 HP, nothing much you could do about there. Regain, man. So good on these pistols. Can you imagine what they could do if they could be just as dominant on the gun rounds as well?
Yeah, and I almost imagine that some of Regain's pistol success has come from anti-stratting. It feels like on all of these pistol rounds, they've had an immediate key to success. And although Overtake were positioned properly on that B bomb site, Regain were just able to find the frag. So in round 14, this A-site stack won't help too much for Overtake's case. But you can also see they're getting aggressive into Palace, and so it's a great deal of information collected. I'm assuming that Jason is going to go for the reclear towards ramp. Actually, no, it's going to be intro to get flashed in. But the rotations should happen towards the B bomb site, bearing the fact that Overtake just don't fully save these upgraded pistols, which I don't think there is a reason to, but it wouldn't catch me by surprise. Sacrifice finds a blinder through the smoke out connector, but it's going to be a long way back into the B bomb site.
Might be a long way, but the CTs are going to go for it regardless here, and Zucker's going to hide behind the unbroken window just for the moment. As these pistols push out, they'll try to get their way in. Sadly, get nothing more than just a little bit of damage. It is still 3 kills at the end of the day for the side of Overtake, and honestly, these upgraded pistols did what they needed to. There's no way to defuse the bomb anymore, but look at the shots, man! Jason is so good with those, especially the Deagle shots. Can they save the AKs? One will be saved here, right? Yeah, but not 2. One's more than enough here. With what they brought into that round, Overtake have got to be happy with the result. Yes, they lose the round, but that's the best way you could lose a round, honestly. And you even get an AK out of it.
Yeah, an AK as well. More, yes, able to get the op, but I think the more pressing matter is that Learcy's been given more utility. Dropped a rifle from Sacrifice, more delay utility to work with on that B-bomb site, and that's exactly what you'd want, but it's not going to play into their favor. It's going to be an all-out A hit from Regain as they fully commit into this A-bomb site, but Overtake are already posturing for the retake.
Oh, what? Umar gets that shot off so quickly, and it's man advantage for the side of Overtake. That being said, Fuzenko and Dirk alive, and they are dangerous, but Umar again, so quick with the finger trigger. Fuzenko in the one-on-one can't finish it off against Learcy, and it's the funny number. It's 6-9 as Overtake try to claw this back.
Indeed, the funny number. AWP not going to be recovered for Umar, though, so he's going to be relegated down to a rifle. And it's kind of an unfortunate series of events that they don't actually get that AWP. I believe it was blown away, but still. Regain have Tech 9s, wanting to try and attempt that last round once again. But the mid-aggression is coming from Overtake. They have to be a little bit more quick with it, especially if they want to have the bolstering of this A-bomb site that we talked about going into this map, but Jason is only good for 1. The trades are effective, and Intra's completely aware that there's another player in the smoke, so another Tech 9 down for the count as Umar finds the hat trick out of connector. And I was doubting his rifle at first, but Umar shows that he is just as effective with that M4 as he is with the AWP. The 7th round for Overtake. Money not going to be in favor of Regain as they're stuck with upgraded pistols at best. It's only going to be a Desert Eagle onto Fuzenko. The rest of the squad has Glocks. And they're looking to brawl all out towards mid.
No timeouts have been taken. They should at least take like a French timeout here, but they're just pushing out. Not really wanting to deal with this round in the low econ of it all. Dirk will get that 1 kill with said Deagle, but it goes down just as quickly. And then now it's a 1-round game. We are in a situation where Overtake here could overtake for the lead, and Regain, who were up 6-0. This is a huge downfall, especially when you consider that they won the pistol and conversion. You take that out of the picture. They've only won 1 round that wasn't pistol and conversion. This is gross. What a comeback here from Overtake. Is it all for naught in the end, though? Find out.
Yeah, I mean, Umar still has that op in play. Regain had to sell their entire Pokemon collection to be able to afford a buy here. And even then, Sasha and Fuzenko relegated to Galil's. And not much aggression out towards mid from Regain. Zukar's taken a lot of space towards underpass, but with Jason hard clearing down bottom ramp, you can see the rotation is already being thought about from Sacrifice. He's called right back over to the A bomb site. An Intra playing hall monitor in the ladder room will not have any information either. It's going to be a late round take towards one of these bomb sites for Regain, and it's feeling like it's going to be B. Uzenko's already on the retreat back towards apartments. Ukar tries to flush out Intra in the ladder room, but Intra's just been given an access into window. It's all going to be for naught, though, as the spams come through connector, the flashbangs ring out, Intra walks right back into ladder room and now has a free backstab, bearing the fact that the connector play doesn't get activated. But once it does, he shuts it down. Intra swings for a second and finds it.
Oh, it's
There's he able to hold his ground on the B bomb site, converts a second kill, and Fuzenko is left on his lonesome. It's Sacrifice to put the cherry on top, and we're tied up at 9-all QDC. A half that did not look in their favor. And Overtake bringing it all the way back.
My goodness gracious, and how convincing was that? Again, they have themselves a very aggressive CT side, all things considered, and they are proactive when it comes to the information gathering. They get themselves up in positions, they try to find everything that they can, and that ladder room play breaks this round, and it gets itself to and retreats rather than getting traded out. It is so perfect on that sense. And the Overtake boys tie the game before Regain's very eyes, and they're about to regain this lead unless the low buy here from the side of Regain is able to break the side of Overtake. 2-on-2, and the bomb hasn't gone down, and Zukar left alone. He still has a big gun in his hand, but with no armor, you can't deal with the headshots. Overtake take it, and they have the lead for the first time in this race.
And the one thing that it feels like Overtake do so well is on these retakes, if, let's say in that specific round, Sacrifice makes an aggressive move out of market window, Jason is right there to cover his blind side and secure his first kill and secure Sacrifice's life. Doesn't have to live up to the name, but Regain once again have rifles and are now in contention to try and find at 10-all. And based on how the first half of this map went, this is not what I expected. Based on how the early stages of Regain's T side went, this is not what I expected. So Overtake, defying all odds, but still Regain are not showing aggression anywhere on the map. They're trying to execute once again into this A bomb site. But with the utility flying over the top of mid, Overtake should be more than aware of the fact that the extremities are going to be put under pressure.
Overtake. It's a crucial round for both teams here, and they have the advantage! Jason! 1, 2, 3! Looking for 4! It won't be him! It only sacrifices! And he doubles up on top of him. It is so beautiful. They're working off of each other. The rotates are perfect. The calls are great. And the CT side is hitting the shots. And it's especially off the back of Jason and Umar. Goodness gracious. We've been singing Umar's praises all freaking game, but Jason has just quietly been getting all these kills. And he has been such a huge boon for the side of Overtake. They never gave up so far, and Regain look defeated.
And Jason's going to have to make sure that his machete is sharp, especially in round 21, because he's going to be put under bright lights once more. Sacrifice opens it up with a great spam through the smoke on the Zukar. Jason's able to activate, but Umar's given free reign out of bench and converts 3 kills to his name. It's an Overtake masterclass to attempt a 2-0 win against Regain because they, QDC, are onto series point and in spectacular fashion. They have looked flawless throughout the CT side, bearing those first few rounds.
Absolutely flawless. Yeah, they look really good, actually. I don't mean to make fun of them with George Michael, but my goodness gracious, it is nothing but praise I'm going to give to Overtake here. They are looking so good. At the end of the day, I would still consider this an upset, but I can't count my chickens before they hatch, because Grape is still on the server, and he hasn't been hitting his shots since early in the first half, but he's still here and alive. His shooting is still top-notch. Look at him take the round all by his lonesome. It's an ace for Grape. And he says, no, Gabe. You can't count your chickens like that. I'm still alive, and so is Regain.
Yeah, money not dissuaded, though, from Overtake. They'll have a full buy right back into this one.
They'll have a full buy in the next, too. They've got money for the rest of this game until overtime. They had overtime money, essentially. Crazy to think about.
Over Regain, posturing around this A-bomb site. Jason's looming in the distance, but the utility is quick. Regain trying to put the pedal to the metal. Find the overtake on the A turn of the bomb site, but Jason is shut down. Sasha and Fuzenko go 2 for 2. But look at the HP of Regain. If they play this correctly, they'll be able to find a round win. But with Overtake being able to isolate some of these duels, Zukar and Sasha are now going to be the risks of this round.
5-on-3, but it's actually a really doable one here for the side of Overtake, but they're not pushing in. They just want the exits here. They're not going to go for this. This is very surprising. And so just looking for the exits. They will slowly crowd onto the site and grab some kills. Make sure that the money on the side of Regain is completely gone. And this buy's going to be ugly heading into this last regulation round. Dirk is going to stay alive. Shouldn't be hunted in time. Not off. It's the only saved. Gun and Grace heading into this last one. I thought the buy would be a lot worse.
I mean, it's taken every single round of regulation to get to this point, QDC. But this is exactly what you want. You're a fan of Counter-Strike. I mean, a back-and-forth affair through and through as Regain take the tack timeout. The first one of this series, mind you. And maybe some sweat starting to form on the brow. They've found success on the A-bomb site. Although I don't think it's them doing anything specifically, special. I think it's been Overtake kind of dropping the bag. Whether it's been Jason, whether it's been Umar not being able to convert shots. And so whether or not Regain will try to rely on the old if it ain't broke, don't fix it strat, which it clearly seems like they are, you can see that Overtake are already starting to offer up more numbers towards this A-bomb site. Jason's going to tuck into Firebox. Umar is close by ticket to offer support, but Sacrifice isn't getting aggressive towards mid. Umar opens it up with a frag onto Sasha, but the trade is effective, and still Jason has gone unchecked Firebox, so there's an opportunity for him to activate.
The smoke underneath the balcony, which was a missed smoke in the first place, is completely bamboozling the side of Regain, and they've spent so long looking at it, and they've taken casualties because of it. They've taken heavy damage as well to the remaining players. All of them one-shot, headshot to the M4s in the hands of Intra and of Sacrifice. That being said, it's a 1-for-1, and it's now a 1-on-2 for Lyrcy. Half health, but fire going into the palace, and the bomb can't be retrieved and put down. Lyrcy can wrap this around. If you can get the shot on Zukar, suddenly this gets very doable. These are two 1v1s for the CT side. And suddenly Lyrcy will go for it. Gets the first bullet, but won't get the headshot that he needs. We need more time. We need more rounds. We go to overtime.
Yeah, and this is where I become a little bit more concerned for Overtake. We saw that the T side was a little bit shaky, and they're going to be forced to try their hand at it once more. But still have 3 rounds to solidify a lead going into that second half of overtime. Umar picks up that AWP. Finance is not going to be an issue for either squad, as that overtime cash definitely comes in handy. But if I'm Overtake, I'm almost wanting to leave Lyrcy on his lonesome towards the B bomb site. Hefty mid-pressure comes in from Regain. A different look in round 25, but Jason's not going to be dissuaded whatsoever. It's the double peek into ramp. Jason should try to hold his position, but the ping pong will have no effect whatsoever.
This already, you have deep information that no one's coming into this B site. With the double op setup, by the way, that means Umar is free to hit his shots, and he's up close and personal. Kuzenko, though, gets that first and the second. The op, that's nothing. And I think already Regain looking to regain that lead for the first time since round number 20. Sacrifice getting on top of the ticket booth, but everyone's vacated the site. They're far away, hiding in their little hidey holes here. Intra gets on the site alongside a Sacrifice, expecting someone to push in behind him, but they're taking too much time. They just need to get on top of this bomb now. It's a 1-on-2, and Zukar gets both. Regain, grab it back. They're not in the woods just yet.
An expertly played post plant from Zukar, waiting for the activation until his teammate in Palace finds contact and is forced to play his hand. But it's the proper move. The patience does provide. Dirk has gifted that AWP back into the hands. Not too much of an expense having to go into this one. And even if Regain do fumble this, Fuzenko still has bank loads of dash. Umar is dropped down to 3 HP, completely burned at the stake. But look at this, Regain trying to pivot right back to the B site, right as I suggested that Overtake sector leave Lyrcy on his own, is the round that Regain try to capitalize.
See if they can capitalize on this again. Overtake. 2 players taking heavy damage so far as they try to retake this site. 3 of them coming in from the market. Dirk gives the man advantage over to Regain. They'll continue on that path as Dirk gets a second. Again, Umar goes down, but a 2-on-4, very doable. They've done it once before. That being said, will it be this round? Intra has himself an empty mag, and he will get onto the bomb. It's a fake. He won't have time to grab back the AK into his hands and fire off bullets. 2-round lead for Regain.
Yeah, and although it took us into overtime, it feels like Regain have finally picked up the key to success when playing against Overtake, and that's to not try and play a default. That's an all-out site execute, because Overtake are still being a little bit paranoid about this mid-play, about these lurks that Regain had established early in this matchup. Regain will revert right back to that strategy, trying to find that mid-control and trying to establish a facade out towards the A site. You can see the mid-take was thought about from Overtake, but off the back of the flash peek, And the single shot drawn out from Fuzenko, mid take is completely canceled.
Overtake. They looked so good at the start of the T side, but they ended off soft, and overtime, T side belongs to Regain. However, same thing went the other way, right? So let's see if Overtake can dominate the T side once they switch over once more. We head into the final round, the first half of this first overtime. Could we see 3 in a row from the side of Regain? It'd be their first map points of the entire BO3. Jason finds the opener. Already, this gets difficult for the side of Regain as they don't have mid control anymore. And this 3-on-4 bullets raining through the smoke stops it from being a man advantage. Bomb does go down. They're gonna have to defend this bomb with only 2 players out in the open. And suddenly it's a 1-on-4 for Dirk. He's got an op. There's nothing he can do about it as he's triple peaked to death. And it's gonna be 1 for Overtake at the very least as we switch sides.
Yeah, at a minimum 1. Jason having to pull out all the stops to make that retake possible. 4 kills in that specific round, but this is where Overtake are thrown right back into the back seat. We touched on how this first half was 7-5 in favor of Regain, but I still have my concerns for Overtake. I mean, both of these teams have shown proficiency on the CT side, and Regain late have been able to convert T-side rounds. But whether or not Overtake will find that same success is a completely different story, QDC. It feels like they've been a little bit too linear, whether it's in the default or in some of the side executes, because Regain have been very active, whether it's towards mid or towards the extremities on their CT side. And right here and now, it's going to be the extremities. Passive posture towards this B bomb site. Sasha's going to make his way back towards benches, but the mid control has been taken from Overtake. You can see that Regain are playing around that as well. Zukar's not getting too aggressive into connector. The catwalk play is still pending from Dirk, but he just has to take his time. He has the op in hand. It only takes 1 bullet to find the kill. And a man advantage is exactly what you want with 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock.
There's a shot. Dirk hits his, and 4-on-4, both oppers getting a victim into their crosshairs. Good for the side of both teams because Overtake desperately need to tie this one up, and Regain desperately need to get to 15 first. 43 seconds on the clock, though. For now, I think this one favors the CT side, especially as Sasha here is ready for this, but gets himself domed, and suddenly it's man advantage for the T side. Fuzenko waiting in the back of the site. No one's expecting him. It's not trigger discipline, though. 1.5 health for the side of Overtake. Regain can't get anything over. And Dirk on the op. It's 16 seconds on the clock. But his op can't even find that first. To the ground he goes. And into a tied game again.
And Sacrifice being the one to take charge in round 28 has evened his scoreline out completely. But still, Jason and Umar, the 2 heavy hitters of Overtake, have slowly faded away as we've gotten into overtime. Jason had a spectacular round on the last round of the first half of overtime, but not enough to call the lead theirs. Intra's taken a great deal of space, and Fuzenko didn't spot it, so Intra has an opportunity to completely foil this defense that Regain have established. There's a top con smoke to deny him any more space. That makes Regain a little bit more paranoid. A reboost comes in towards Catwalk. Jason's able to find a conversion onto Grape. That's an over-aggressing Grape at that. It's the patience this time that's really reaping the benefits for Regain. They have to get moving. Dirk misses a rare op shot and suddenly is put under a lot of pressure, forced to whip the knife out, but can't do anything about it. Fuzenko and Sasha left in the 2v5 at that. and Learcy has still yet to activate towards bottom mid. Sasha expects this play, but will look away at the wrong time, but the reactions are in order. It's an AK recovered for Sasha, and yeah, that's the call. They've been told to run for the hills. They've been told to try and take these rifles into the next round because Overtake are going to be the first to 15, as you called it, QDC. An absolute must for them, and they convert when it matters.
My goodness gracious, still not a single map point for the side of Regain. It'll be all Overtake, who already have 3 in this one, and now they'll get a 4th chance to end this game 2-0. Regain haven't had the opportunity to win a map yet. They're in overtime. They've made it far into the first map as well. They just can't get themselves onto that pedestal, onto that last little sliver that they would need to get themselves one away from a map victory. And now Regain, after winning 4 in a row to bring us to OT and then take a 2-round lead, are on the verge of losing 4 in a row to lose this map and game.
Yeah, and if you also notice at the buy of Regain, it's a double op setup. Buzenko's going to be the one to get aggressive into apartments, but not going to spot anything. It's Jason to open up round 30. And that hasn't drawn a reaction out of Regain just yet. There still is statues, still trying to reconvene some sort of space and play a passive posture, but Dukar's going to go hunting down mid. There's a flash to assist with this take, but not going to spot anyone as Overtake have been very patient towards top mid. And that flashbang might just be enough information for Overtake to know that they've been given free real estate out towards top mid.
60 seconds on the clock. Man advantage. Breathe a sigh of relief for now. And then push onwards. At this point, an 80% chance to win the round. And a 5-on-4. They can get it across the line. They won't need more Counter-Strike to go up 1-0 in this group of death. And upset the group favorite. Zenko waiting for his shot. He misses, and Umar doesn't miss him. A 5-on-3 instead of a 4-on-4. And Grape's still alive. He's the one who was able to bring us into this round in the first place, into this situation. But he only gets himself 2, and his teammates can't do shit. 1-on-3. Sasha needs to stand up, pull up to the situation. 40 seconds to figure this out. And it's a puzzle, all right. Now, toughened up just that little bit. He gets his position located, and down he goes. Overtake on the 4th time of asking will win Mirage after starting out 0-6.
Yeah, and I mean, they take the series in 2-0 fashion. And QDC, you were talking about it being an upset, and as much as I'd like to agree with you, I personally am not going to. I think that this kind of was expected. We touched on how this Overtake sector roster is a reunion party of ex-party astronauts, ex-fluffy aimers, and Umar. And Umar clearly being the difference maker in Mirage, and I think was doing a little bit of that same work on Inferno. And I mean, what more could you ask for? Overtake on Inferno were able to completely quell the likes of Regain, and on Mirage fought tooth and nail to secure this one.
Overtake here do a terrific job. This was a very, very tight game in a weird way, because both maps were never that tight, but the comebacks came back strong. And as I said, right, this was the side of Overtake doing what Regain couldn't over on Inferno. Over on Inferno is the same thing, right? It was an 11-5 lead. It was an 8-3 lead for the side of Overtake. And slowly but surely, Regain were chipping away at that lead. But when they got back to it, it was a 13-10 loss in the end. They just were 1 or 2 rounds away from really taking it out. At the end of the day, those 1 or 2 rounds come down to the gun rounds. And I think that's where they were inefficient, right? Because they won all 4 pistols. They got 3 of the 4 conversions. They should have won both of these maps handedly if they just went 50-50 on the gun rounds. That never happened.
Yeah, and I think what really caught me off guard was Overtake's ease to take Inferno. It felt like they were able to kind of play that push and pull a little bit better, but the standout player for me in this entire series has to be Umar. I mean, the one player that isn't coming from Party Astronauts or Fluffy Aimers, but has stepped into the role and stepped up to the plate at that, had 30 kills in Mirage, and was creating impact on Inferno when you'd least expect it. But still, it's a team-wide effort that got Overtake this win, and they should absolutely be patting themselves on the back because, like you mentioned, they start 1-0 in the group of death, and the group of death is the group of death for a reason. I mean,
Yeah.
absolute hard hitters in this group.
We were talking about how hot Outfit 49 is.
Yeah.
Right? That leaves Regain in trouble here because, as you said, Regain haven't played for a month, right? They just lost to, I don't want to say it in a derogatory term, right? But a main league team, right? When they're themselves an ECL team and you're up against, I mean, sure, some of the top brass, of course, of a North American Counter-Strike, but still, this isn't a team that's been around the block for too long as far as Overtake is concerned, right? They played in Open 9-10. Now they're playing in main league. Yes, they've only lost one map, sure, in the entire campaign of season 57, but I still favored the Regain squad heading into this. I mean, you have to, right? You're a top team in North America, right? Regain, some consider a top 10 team in North America completely, right?
Yeah.
When you think of it that way, you lose to
And QDC, you know,
Group of death.
like I said, it's kind of interesting because when you look at Regain as a roster and as the brand name that they are, I think I can agree with you. But like I said, it's the individuals that come together for Overtake that actually really push them over the line. It's a lot of the individual frags. It's being able to cover for one another whenever you're going for risky plays. And the Op of Umar just feels like the cherry on top. And although they have, completely cleared out the main division in ESEA, I think there's a strong argument that they should be in ECL and should be competing for VRS already. And what more can you ask for? That's all I can really say. It was a beautiful series on Inferno, or it was a beautiful map of Inferno, and a beautiful series overall because this is a mental test that Overtake just came out on top of, and they have to be happy with themselves.
The other thing that was beautiful was our HUD. Ladies and gentlemen, Crossfire Season 5 is sponsored by myhud. You liked what you saw, right? That was awesome. Crossfire is powered by myhud, and myhud is the ultimate customizable HUD for Counter-Strike 2. It's perfect for casters, streamers, and you can choose a layout, tweak some colors, add sponsors on the screen, just like we have, and get a full minimap overview. Level up your streams at myhud.app today. Do you have anything else to say, Blake, before we head off for the night?
No, I mean, I think it's, we just watched an outstanding series. It was absolute cinema between Overtake Sector and Regain, and it feels good to be back into the mic for Crossfire Season 5. I was absent last season, but it's great to be back. But UDC, for here and now, that's going to be it from us over here on the Crossfire channel. We have some more exciting Counter-Strike action coming at you this week, so if you liked what you saw, make sure to follow us on all of our socials at Play Crossfire. And without further ado, QDC, we will catch you guys on the flip.
This live stream is sponsored by SCL, an all-in-one CS2 training platform with a practice server, 2D viewer, and unique training modes like Defense Mode. Defend sites against bot executes that get harder every round. And Trade Fire, a pre-fire mode where enemies actually try to trade you. You can run every mode in co-op and track your progress and stats across all your training. Plus, you get an advanced 2D demo viewer. Use code Crossfire40 for 40% off your first month. That's under $3.